Howdy everybody. Today we're going to be doing some pollarding of Glidicidiacepium trees, or Madero Negro as they call it here. Now why are we pollarding these trees? Glidicidiacepium is a nitrogen fixer, and so it has nodules in the roots where nitrogen is stored. It also has abundant nitrogen in the leaves and also in the new branches. The new branches are green and they're full of nitrogen. So they're great. It's one of the best permaculture trees there is. This one in Lucana. I prefer this one to Lucana personally, but it's just a matter of preference. Now there's two terms that often get confused, and that is to coppice and to pollard. You're cutting the tree, regardless of either one of them. But coppicing, you cut it down here, way down toward the ground. Pollarding, you cut it up here, usually around head level or shoulder level. And there's a reason for that. When you coppice, you want the tree to come back as a multi-branch system. It's going to shoot out branches all over the place. And actually, Lucana is a great tree to coppice because it shoots branches out all over the place. And then you can come back and trim those branches for the nitrogen in the leaves. Glidicidia is a better tree to pollard. It doesn't shoot out the branches as well. Now, most people associate pollarding with chop and drop that we hear in permaculture. We're going to do some of that today. And if you look around me, I've been doing it already. There's a lot of stuff has been chopped and has been dropped. Okay, what does that mean? We're just chopping it, we're dropping it, we're letting the leaves and the twigs and the small branches are all going to decompose and they'll feed the soil. So that's chop and drop. But pollarding, if you do it right, has a second mission. And that is to provide shade during the dry months. And you want shade during the dry months. So I'm going to show you that as we're going along. Now we have our trusty tools here. We have our machete in case we need it. We're not probably going to use this in the pollarding process. And you might ask why, because I could easily cut this branch with a machete. The problem is that you kill the tree when you do that. You have to cut the branch a certain way, and I'm going to explain that to you. Because we don't want it to split. We don't want the bark to peel. None of that. You kill the tree when you do that. So we want to make sure that we take care of the tree when we're doing this. So I'm going to put the machete right here in case if I need it for some other reason. And we're going to go at about shoulder to head level, and we're looking here for places where we could see that buds will come out if we give it a chance. So if I cut this area down here is going to bud. So here's the way that we do the cut. The branch is leaning this way, so we're going to start here and we're going to saw. That's all we have to do. And then we're going to come to the other side and cut from the opposite side and finish it. As you can see, this fell down. All we have to do is cut up through here. We didn't split and we didn't pull the bark. That's why we do this. Now, I'm going to take these. I'm just going to cut these smaller branches and spread them out a little bit more so that it's more flat, so that it lays more flat. So we did our first one. Now my mentor, Jeff Lawton, says that you should do your pollarding when the rate of precipitation exceeds the rate of evaporation. Now, I don't have any way of determining that. The Weather Service here gives an indication of the amount of precipitation, but it doesn't give any indication of evaporation, so you have to estimate it. So what are we going to do with these little small branches here in the pollard? We want to prevent the tree from growing up. That's one of the reasons that we're doing it. We actually want the tree to grow out laterally because that's going to give us the maximum shade that we want for the warm months. So we don't want this one growing up. We don't care if it grows out. So I'm going to cut off the top growth part. Same thing here, but I'm always going to try to leave a leaf or two on the branch so that the branch has a way to recover from the pollarding that we're doing. So I'm going to take this. All of these are going to go because they're going up. They're not going out. This one is growing laterally. That's exactly what we want. And this is a dead branch. So I'm going to cut this again. All of this is going to force the new growth. Some of the new growth will go up anyway, but we want to prevent the growth that is already going up from going any higher. So I'm coming around the tree, cutting. Okay, so now, what else are we going to do? Well, we're going to have to cut this one. Again, we're coming underneath with the saw first. And I do this with the saw because we want to have a nice flat surface here. We don't want it to be at an angle. We don't want it to be a deep cut in the branch that's a big wound. This nice flat surface heals up very quickly, and that's what we want. So as you can see, this is a nice flat surface. We're going to take this too. Again, I'm coming around this side. And now one more. And another reason we have to do this is because you can see these wires here. The electric company is going to come, and if we don't do it, they're going to do it for us. And they don't do it in a very good way. So now I'm coming around to this side. I'm going to cut down here. So again, nice flat top, that'll heal up very quickly. Now many times I will take this material and bring it over to the wood chipper, chip it up, chip it all up, not just the wood part, but the leaves and everything. And it makes a really good mulch. If you keep it for a while, it makes a really good compost. But in this particular case, we're interested in the advantage we get from chopping and dropping. And we're in the wet season. We're going to get a lot of activity from fungi, and the fungi will take care of that for us. They'll chop it up for us. But look, here we have the tree completely pollarded. This will begin putting shoots on in a week or two, and those shoots, some of them will want to go up, but most of them are going to want to come out laterally, and that's what we want. So let's just walk here real quick. Lena. So look from down here. I pollarded these trees about 2 weeks ago, and they're already coming back quite nicely. As you can see, there's a lot of lateral growth coming out. So when the dry season comes, this area will get some shade, and that's what we want. Every time we pollard, the roots trim themselves. So some of the nitrogen nodules that are down in the ground become released because the tree doesn't need that much root under there anymore to support the cut tree. So that's the other thing. So we're putting nitrogen in the soil, we're putting nitrogen on top of the soil, we're putting carbon in the soil and other minerals from the tree, and then at the end we're going to get shade in the dry months. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks a lot for watching.